JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 20th of June 2022. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Monday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff basically. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFDbrokers.com website, and specifically the market news and analysis page, which I believe you can find quite useful. So guys, now then, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. We had a continuation slide here today. As you can see, we closed in negative territory, but on the slightly positive note is that we managed to remain above this highlighted territory right here. So what I said to you previously, that if we drop and stay below that area, well, further declines are possible. We could go for that lowest point of March, but as you can see here, we just got ourselves a nice false breakout. Can this be a signal maybe for a bit of a retracement here to the upside? Well, again, let's wait and see. I'm not going to rush into anything here. Like I said, for now, I'm just going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to see how Europe is going to trade today. Just to let you know, of course, the US is closed today due to their bank holiday. So public holiday, at the moment, I would say, coming back to Nikkei, yes, if you're looking for some further declines, then wait for at least the index kind of closing, staying below this highlighted territory, which is roughly between that 25,688 and the 25,775 levels. Now, in terms of the upside on this one, now as you can see, I have these two trend lines still drawn here, but I think it's time to get rid of them and mainly focus on something else. Now, first of all, I'll mainly focus on some of the key resistance and support barriers. So for the upside, probably a good option could be to wait maybe for a push above this barrier, this 26,947, but I get it, we might be missing out on a bit of territory right here. So we can probably maybe simplify this a little bit. So for example, we could draw this downside line right here, this steep downside resistance line taken from the high of 9th of June, and if we get a nice break above it and we push, let's say, above this 26,321 territory, then yes, there is a possibility for this one to go higher a little bit maybe. We'll go slowly on this one, step by step, because then I'm just going to aim for this 26,947. Of course, if that gets cleared, then yes, more buyers could join in, but just to be a little bit more on the safe side here right now. And as I would say, as long as we stay below this steep downside line, then yes, the downside scenario is possible. But as I mentioned just right now, that I would still prefer to wait for a good drop below that this highlighted territory right there. Shanghai Composite, this one is still holding on. Look at this. I mean, it's still holding to this upside support line taken from the low of the 27th of April. So yeah, if we're looking for some upside, then I would like to see a push above this 3,356 territory, somewhere around here, this highlighted zone, which did provide good resistance recently, and also it acted as a good support area before, but yeah, at the moment I'm looking at it as a resistance level. So if we do pop above this area, then at the same time we would already be placed above all of the EMAs, and yeah, potentially more buyers could join in here. For the downside, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm gonna keep on lifting this arrow right now, because the further we move above this upside line, the more I will lift it higher. So if we're looking for some lower levels, I would like to see a drop somewhere below this 3,263 territory right here, marked by the low of the the 17th of June. At the same time, we would drop below this 108 EMA, and potentially this kind of all could add up, for the bears for more bears to join in. The German index DAX. So, looking at this picture here, I would say it's quite tricky, because on one hand here you can see that on Friday the index closed closed below this highlighted territory. I talked about this and I said that if we continue to trade below it, then yes, there is a good possibility that this could drift lower, and to be honest, I'm still kind of leaning towards the downside on this one, but the cash index is currently sitting at around 13,150 territory. Yep, so actually we're still below. Oh, so that's good in that case. Yes, so long story short, as long as we remain below this area, below this highlighted territory, I will continue aiming to the downside. I mean, not very good maybe for the bulls, but hey, at the moment we are in this kind of situation, and if we can call it this way, of course, that at the moment is very difficult for the bulls to kind of jump in here and for something longer. So that's why, yes, if it let's say reverses back up here and climbs back above this 13,679 or this 750 zone, then yes, we could start maybe considering some higher levels, but I think that, for example, this upside line has to be redrawn, and yep, I think that's this downside line could be this one right now. So in other words, even if we, let's say, do push back up here above this 13,750 territory, we could still class this move as a temporary correction before another possible leg of selling. But again, let's get to that point first. I mean, if we can get to that point first, then we'll look at something like that. At the moment, I am watching this highlighted territory, this area between the 13,150 and the 200 levels. If we stay below it, then yes, I will aim lower. So Nasdaq 100, as I said, today is going to be US is closed, but let's say we can have a look what's happening here, or what happened here on Friday. So we did retrace somewhat, we gained somewhat, but as you can see, it's kind of kind of a mess a little bit. So not all these levels kind of worked out. So probably this has to go. We'll have to relook at everything again, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to keep an eye on the lowest point of last week near the 11,037 zone. The cash index is kind of sitting is around the 11,332 area, so above yesterday's close, but we're still below this highlighted zone. I talked about this area previously, so I would say if we continue to trade somewhere below this area, then yes, I will kind of stay bearish for now, and yeah, we could drift lower, and even we could go for a lower low. We could fall below that 11,000 mark, but let's not rush into anything for now. Let's keep an eye on the European session, like I said, the Asian session as well later on, and then we'll see what can we expect from the US session when it opens up tomorrow. For the upside, yes, a push back above this highlighted zone could do the trick for a few more buyers, but then yeah, we have some of these obstacles on the way higher, so I think that this downside line has to be redrawn maybe in this way. So that means that actually if you're looking for some upside, then yeah, you would need to wait for a break of this downside line, and then yeah, we could go higher. DXY, the dollar index, yeah, this one tried to recover on Friday, as you can see here. Yes, it did recover, pushed higher, did test this 105 territory, but failed to stay above it and drifted back down. Today we're seeing a nice decline here again. However, if you're looking for some higher levels, I still need to see a push above that 105 zone. If I don't get that, then well, just going to continue observing the price action. Although these two are, I mean, this DXY is trading above these two upside lines. Again, don't really focus too much on these upside lines here, because these are kind of a little bit on the tentative side, but I'm just having these for now here on the chart to see if they actually somehow do their job later on. For the downside on this one, I would like to see a drop, actually not below this hurdle, but now below the low of I think that's the low of last week. Let me just, no, that's not, sorry, that's the low of the 16th of June, the 103.42 zone. At the same time, we would drop maybe below the 21-day EMA, and then we could go and test this upside line, which maybe not going to carry much significance, and maybe we could just, you know, break it and, you know, move lower. Probably, actually, I'm going to let me actually get rid of it, because I don't think that it's going to be that much of you know, that much of a barrier maybe to the downside, because we do have this other upside line right here. Now jumping into gold, with gold it's a bit of a choppy kind of, it has been seen as choppy at the moment. So if you're looking for something a little bit more reassuring, maybe let's say in the near term, then wait for at least a push above this 1858 territory. As you can see, last week it did provide good resistance, or should I say at the end of last week it did provide good resistance. So if we do climb above it, then I will go for that downside resistance line taken from the high of the 8th of March. For the downside, I would like to see maybe a drop below this hurdle, below this 1831 zone, in order to aim for this key support level near the 1807, because as you can see, last week we did reverse strongly from this hurdle. And this is going to be my next target if we do drop below that 1831 territory, and then I'll take it from there. US oil, which is WTI oil, almost completed our mission here, because I mean, what I was saying before, that if we do drop below this 114.79 territory, then yes, I'll aim for this upside line taken from the low the 2nd of December. Well, we almost managed to yeah, reach that area, so I would say mission accomplished, almost. However, still, yeah, we still have a bit of room. So if you have missed this drop, for example, then I would say just leave it for now. I mean, now the question here is, can we see a break of this upside line taken from the low the 2nd of December? And now if we do drop below it, then yes, I will consider a further move south towards this maybe 100 level, or even below that. But at the moment, of course, let's say if we do break this upside line, what I'm going to aim here for is this hurdle, this 105 territory right here, which is near that 100-day EMA, and then this is where it's going to be quite interesting to see if we can actually rebound from that area and maybe push back up. But let's wait and see. Ethereum, so the crypto problems continue, but yeah, I mean, we saw a nice retracement here on Sunday, and yeah, we're still above this 880 zone. This is where the crypto found support last week. So if you're looking for some further declines, guys, well, a drop below this level here, this 880 zone, would be required. Then we will aim for that psychological 700 territory, which is the lowest point of February here of 2021. And then we'll just go from there. For the upside on this one, well, this is where a few adjustments have to be made, I think. Well, yes, this is the level that I'm still watching, this 1595 territory, approximately around here. That's the highest point of 2018, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. That's this first big rally which we had. But probably what we can do here is maybe we can keep an eye on something like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not ideal, but still something. So if we do break this downside line taken from the high of the 5th of May, then yes, we could go maybe for a larger correction to the upside. So keep that in mind, because a nice good break of this this downside line could also place the rate above the 21-day EMA. Okay, now jumping into a few pairs very quickly, and I'll try to fly through these a little bit faster because I have a few of these and not really much time left. But AUD/JPY, I talked about this one last week, and I said that as long as it continues to trade above this upside line, then yes, there is a good opportunity for this one to move higher, and especially if it stays above this barrier right here, this 94 territory right here. But so far we just kept on having these false breakouts, so let's see what's going to happen today. If we can actually move above it and stay above it, if we can do that, then yes, I will go for the upside, and I will go for that 95.74 territory or even above that. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 92.95 territory right here, and then yes, I will go to the downside. AUD and ZD, so this one beautiful break here through this upside line, and look at this. I mean, initially we kind of we were moving nicely above this upside line here. We were rebounding strongly, but I think that the pair found strong resistance near the highest point of June, the current highest point of June, near the 1.1160, or actually 70 zone, 1.1170. Previously, I had the level here, the 1.1176 territory, as I was looking at this one, but yeah, we found resistance near this hurdle instead, which is very close, don't get me wrong. So it just kind of proves that this whole area here will be something to watch for, because as you can see, this barrier, for example, is the highest point of August of 2018. However, the moment the upside scenario is slightly off the table, unless it's a corrective move higher. I can get rid of this, or actually no, sorry, I'm not going to get rid of this upside line. I'm going to redraw it, and I'm going to put this right there. So this upside line taken from the low of the 19th of November here of 2021 might be an interesting target for now. So as long as the pair, for example, trades below this 1.1028 territory, somewhere around here, then yes, I will continue aiming lower. NZD/USD, so rebounded nicely from that 0.6293 territory. I talked about this last week, so everything's working out perfectly for now. Everything's according to the books. So yeah, let's see if we can actually push higher and test this downside line taken from the high of the 5th of April. If we drop back below the 0.6293 territory, then I'm going to keep an eye on this territory, this highlighted zone. Actually, I would prefer to see it drop below this zone instead, the 0.6217, in order to kind of, let's say, get comfortable with lower levels here. But at the moment, yes, we're rebounding from this 0.6293 territory. Let's see if we can actually climb back to this 21-day EMA or even this downside line. USD/JPY, so beautiful retracement here. Look at this. I mean, beautiful move back up, and we managed to climb back above this 134.48 level. And yes, that could be seen as a good sign, but still, I would prefer actually to get a nice move above this highlighted territory right there, the 135.58 level right there. So let's see if we can clear that. If we can, then this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and yeah, potentially more buyers could join in. If you're looking for something for the downside, I would say wait for, this whole area right here. I mean, just probably continue observing this one, and if we do break this upside line, which I have just drawn, if you've seen it, so yeah, this upside line, yes, if we break below it, then maybe that's where more sellers could join in. USD/CHF, this was quite interesting because we are testing this upside line again. So the question is, can we see a further decline? Now, if you remember last week, I said that in the beginning of last week, I said that, well, let's see if this is not going to end up being somewhat of a, double top pattern, but we're kind of very, very close to that idea, accomplishing that idea. But let's, of course, be careful. At the moment, I'm watching this upside support line taken from the low of the 31st of March, and you can see that we are testing it right now. So yes, if we break it, then this could open the door towards lower levels, but now I would prefer to see a drop below last week's low near the 0.9620 area. If we do drop below it, then yes, I'll go lower, but as you can see, I've shortened my arrow here a little bit towards only aiming for the 0.9545 level here. And if this is where this is the low of the 27th of May, and if we get a nice hold up here, or should I say maybe we could get a nice hold up here, because we also have the 100-day EMA here. So yep, if we do have a nice hold up somewhere around here, maybe a bit of a rebound could be possible. USD CAD. So this one, yeah, beautiful move here. As you can see, last week I talked about this and I said that if we push through this 1.2896 territory, then my next target is the 1.3077 level, which we managed to reach perfectly. So mission accomplished here. So now, what's next? To be honest, I will put my arrow here for the upside. I will put it up until here, up until this 1.3173 level. So if you're looking for some upside, then yeah, I would like to see a push above that barrier first. We had quite a steep up move here already, so maybe a bit of a retracement could be nice. However, don't get me wrong, I mean, this could still rally strongly here, so be careful with that one. If you're looking for some downside, now this is where I think I will have to adjust a few levels, and I think that I will keep an eye on this hurdle, this 1.2861 level here, marked by the low of the 16th of June. A nice good drop below it may attract a few more sellers into the game here, and yes, we could see this one maybe sliding a little bit lower. GBP USD, very quickly on that one. So this one's still stuck here. I mean, it's not really picture perfect for me. I mean, I would prefer to see a drop below this 1.2162 territory in order to go lower. And in terms of the upside, I would actually prefer to wait for a push of this through this downside line and a push through this 1.2472 territory. This way, I think that a few more buyers could join in. So all this area here could be a bit tricky. So, however, don't get me wrong. If you like to trade something like that, then yes, great. Just have your stop loss in place. GBP CHF. So beautiful move to the downside. Look at this. It is drifting further south, so we're dropping below that 1.1973 territory. We've reached again this level, this 1.1805 zone, somewhere around here. So now if we break below this, then my next target is the 1.1734 level right there. And yep, that's the low of the 21st of December 2020, but slightly below that we do have the lowest point of December of 2020. So yeah, it could be a good target. So at the moment, like I said, I'm keeping an eye on this hurdle. Let's see if we can break that and stay below it, and let's see if we can drift all the way towards maybe the lowest point of December of 2020. Quick update on Eurocad. So this one's pushing nicely to the upside. So yeah, breaking this downside line. I talked about this last week, so everything's kind of according to the plan for now. If we continue to somehow trade today above this 1.3676 territory, then yes, I'll go for the 100-day EMA or even this 1.3808 level marked by the highest point of May. For the downside, I would like to see a drop back below this hurdle right here, the 1.3550, and if we do move below it, then yes, I will aim for this 1.3393 territory, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. And finally, EURUSD. Still, we are trading around here, and to be honest, if you're looking for some upside on this one, then like I said, for me, it's I will get a little bit more comfortable with the upside scenario if we push above the 1.0636 territory right here. For the downside, I would like to see him at least a move below the 1.0460 area right here in order to aim for this highlighted zone near the 1.0340. And if that gets clear, now that's where more sellers could join in. We could, see this one kind of, falling off the cliff here and drifting further south. But at the moment, we are stuck here. So to be honest, I'm just going to observe this one because I don't really like, when it's somewhere around here. But if it pushes through this 1.0636 territory and stays above it, then yes, I'll consider a move maybe further north later on. So guys, that's it for this session. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, guys. I really do. So thank you for that. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, guys, yeah, so you can join me then. But for now, for today, have a wonderful trading day. I know it could be a little bit on the quiet side, but let's see if we can squeeze something out of it. And but of course, as always, be very careful and have your stop loss in place. So have a nice day today, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.